The Netflix effect. Netflix wanted spectacle. They wanted a mega fight, a global event. Joshua's star power fit perfectly. He is internationally known, media-friendly, and visually dominant, the shortlist of opponents. Terrence Crawford, Ryan Garcia, Tommy Fury, and 30 to 40 other names were reviewed. Netflix wanted Joshua. Jake agreed. And the deal was made. Eddie Hearn's reaction. When Jake first claimed he could beat Joshua, Eddie Hearn laughed. But once Jake and Netflix showed serious interest, and money, the conversation shifted dramatically. Ryan Garcia's warning. Ryan Garcia believes Jake made a huge mistake. He says the way Jake loses could affect his life permanently. Joshua's power is not something influencers can prepare for. The real risk, repetitive damage. Scientists confirm that repeated headshots, followed by the referee's mandatory count, are what cause long-term brain damage. Jake could get dropped multiple times before being stopped. Knockout versus permanent injury. A knockout might not be the worst-case scenario. A single punch from Joshua could cause serious neurological damage. A broken jaw heals, the brain doesn't. Why Jake took the risk. From a business standpoint, losing to Anthony Joshua does not hurt Jake's brand. Losing to Tommy Fury, KSI, or Gervonta Davis does. A loss to Joshua is acceptable because AJ is a legend. Revisiting Joshua vs. Ngannou. Joshua's destruction of Francis Ngannou reveals what happens when AJ fights someone not near his level. Precision, power, and experience overwhelm brute strength. It's a preview of what could happen to Jake. 1 punch versus 8 rounds. Analysts argue that Jake is actually safer getting knocked out in 1 punch than being battered for 8 rounds. Repeated trauma is far more harmful than a single clean KO. The danger behind 10-ounce gloves. Jake demanded smaller 10-ounce gloves, hoping for speed and power. Yet experts warn, less padding means more knockout risk. Joshua's power becomes even deadlier. Rogan and Tyson break down the danger. Joe Rogan calls Joshua one of the scariest knockout artists in heavyweight history. Mike Tyson warns that Joshua must control his punches because Jake is not on his level. Tyson suggests that a mismatch of this scale could end brutally. From Tyson to AJ, a terrifying jump. Jake Paul just had what looked like a soft sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. Jumping from that to Anthony Joshua, a younger, faster, active heavyweight killer, is one of the wildest matchmaking decisions in boxing history. Jake Paul's confident narrative. Jake Paul believes he can beat Joshua, and for the first time, observers are beginning to understand where that confidence came from. His exhibitions with older fighters and strategic matchmaking have shaped his belief that size and power gaps can be navigated. Smaller fighters versus Joshua. Joshua does not struggle against smaller opponents, quite the opposite. When he faces fighters physically inferior to him, he becomes even more dominant, using his reach, timing, and jab to break them down. The rise of a giant. Anthony Joshua is often described as a force of nature, massive, powerful, disciplined, and constantly improving. Even after difficult fights, he returns sharper, stronger, and more dangerous. His knockout of Vladimir Klitschko remains one of the most iconic moments in modern boxing and proof of his elite potential. The inconsistency myth. Critics say Joshua is inconsistent, but the truth is more complex. Some point to losses against Usyk and Ruiz, yet those defeats came from world-class fighters, Usyk possibly the greatest heavyweight boxer alive, and Ruiz, a fast, explosive heavyweight with championship-level skill.